Yes. So essentially, when animal rights groups in the, I don't know, 70s, that's when they really started, I guess, saying that sealers in Newfoundland were barbarians, they were inhumane, they're clubbing seals. The government said, well, we know that the hunt is humane, so we want to prove it to you. We want to prove to you that it's humane. So they hired veterinarians, they hired scientists to develop a process so that seals would be hunted humanely. So out of that consultation, I guess, the veterinarians and the scientists developed a 3-step process for humanely harvesting seals. The first step is called the strike. So that's usually by a high-powered rifle. We use a 22, 250, or 223.
It's like coyote here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then so when that happens, the next step is called the check. So you actually get out of the boat onto the ice, walk over to where the seal is. You need to palpate the skull. So you need to feel the skull. And if any part of the skull is still intact, or if I'll start by saying if the skull is completely obliterated, there's nothing intact, then you can proceed to the next step. If, though, you feel that a part of the skull is intact, you need to hit it on the head. So that's where like the clubbing comes in. Basically, they were saying one of the only ways to prove that the animal is completely unconscious is to make sure the cranium is completely smashed. So there's a very prescriptive tool called a hack-a-pick, various specifications in terms of the weight, the diameter,
Oh, wow,
the length of the ferrule on it. And so you do need to hit it on the head to crush it. But 99 times out of 100, the seal is already dead. So it's kind of like the definition of overkill. Thankfully, I've never had to hit one on the head. All my shots have been okay. And the skull has been completely crushed. You do aim for the head. So that,
I was going to say, I assume to like preserve the pelt, plus it's a nice quick kill.
Preserve the meat, exactly. And to make it a quick kill in the interest of being humane.
Yeah, of course.
So if you do see people hitting it on the head, excuse me, that's part of the process. You're regulated to do that. And DFO officers will be in the helicopter looking down at sealers, and if you at least don't make the motion that you've checked it, then you will be charged because you didn't fulfill that second step.
Wow.
And then and then also videos, you can't always believe what you see. Animal rights groups have been convicted in court for paying people to do inhumane things to animals so that they can use it, and to seals so they can use it in their propaganda. So just because you see it doesn't mean it's representative of how the actual hunt works. So then when the hit on the head happens and the skull is crushed, if that's required, you can proceed to the third step, which is bleed. So you need to sever the arteries under the flippers and wait a minute or two while the seal bleeds out. And only once you've completed those 3 steps, so the shot, the check of the head, and hit if required, and then the bleed, can you proceed to harvest the fur, the meat, and the blubber.
Okay.
So
Amazing.
It's very, very regulated. Again, I've never had to take a species-specific course for any other animal besides seal. So it shows you how seriously the government is taking it. But at the same time, the steps that we are doing to be humane look to be the exact opposite. They look barbaric. So that is a conundrum. That's a problem because we're doing these steps to humor these groups that are saying we're being inhumane. Yet the footage that comes out of it looks terrible, kind of
horrible,
bolsters their whole narrative as it is. So it's tough. It's a pickle.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of where, education comes into